Let's say that you didn't listen to your old statistics teacher about stop playing the lottery, right? So the problem is there are so many combinations of numbers that you could pick. So let's do a simple one so we don't have so many huge numbers. Let's say you just have 25 numbers to pick from and you draw 5. There are two different ways to count the total number of outcomes. There's combinations versus permutations. Most, probably 99.9%, are combinations. Permutations is where order matters. Can you imagine? Not only do you pick the right 5 numbers, you pick them the correct order that they come out of the little ball machine, right? So that's crazy. But let's just compare them. So the formula here for combinations is the big N is the total number of values, and the little n is how many you take at a time. The factorial symbol, that little exclamation point, is saying that I'm going to multiply from that number all the way down to 1. So I know big N is 25, and so I can start multiplying 25 times 24 times 23 times 22 times 21. And you might, say, well, wow, I got to multiply all the way down to 1 because that is the definition of the factorial. But watch this. So the little n is 5. So that'd be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. This piece is going to be 25 minus 5, which would be 20 factorial. Well, think about it. If I stop here at 20 factorial, these two will cancel out. So when you're doing this by hand, it's best to do something like this so you can see things cancel out. And I could cancel the 5 there. 4 with 24 would be 6. I don't know, 3 with 21 would be 7. 2 with 22 would be 11. And if you multiply that straight across, you should get 53,130. So let's see what happens if order matters. So the formula is pretty similar, but what's happening with the combinations is we're dividing out repeats, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the same as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Because order doesn't matter. So this little n is not being divided out when it comes to permutations. So all you have now is the big N minus little n. So where big N, once again, is the total number of values, 25, 24, 23, 22, and you already know from the other example to stop at 20, because in fact that's going to be the entire denominator. So if you simply just multiply everything in the numerator, 25 times 24 times 23 times 22 times 21, you get 600. Sorry for my messy handwriting. Look at the difference in the number of ways. That's incredible, right? So combinations, order doesn't matter. Permutations, order matter. Now it's nice to see 1 or 2 of these worked out by hand, but you don't want to work these by hand because Excel actually has a combination formula, COMBIN. Notice it says number, comma, number chosen. So in our case, we had 25 total, and we picked 5 at a time. I closed the parentheses, and look at there. So that is exactly what I got when I worked this by hand. Guess what? They also have a permutation. P-E-R-M-U-T, the total, the number chosen. I hit enter, and I get the same exact value, the 6,375,600. Now, this is just the total number of ways you can actually pick 5 numbers out of 25. So hopefully this is incredible to you. But what if you wanted to actually know what's the probability that you would win? Remember, probabilities are found by the number of ways to win divided by the number of outcomes, the number of ways you can pick these numbers. So these are the denominator. Guess what the numerator is? 1. There's only one way to win, divided by my total number of outcomes for my combinations. 1 divided by my total number of outcomes for my permutations. If you remember, this means scientific notation to pick the decimal up, since that's negative, and move it 5 places to the left, or 7. If you don't remember that, just format the cells to a number and add, a bunch of decimal places, and there's your probability that you're going to win the lottery. And this is small, right? Because this was only saying there were 25 values. And then you typically have other things with Powerball and all that adds to the odds being against you. But if anything else, I hope this example teaches you to not play the lottery.